Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Just a reminder, next time you're messing around on your social media feeds, find WBAP, find me, James Sparker, find the James Show. We're putting up content on an almost daily basis, and I love interacting with you outside the show as well, because maybe one day I'll be like rich and famous and busy and have thousands of people just flooding my inbox, but really it's like 3 people a day. Maybe 4. I mean, I have almost as many people who click like on pictures of my wife in various states of dress than actually contact me, which is, it's not an insult. I'm flattered by it, but I can see, right? When you go through my first personal Facebook page and you find my wife in a bathing suit and click like on it, and I don't know who you are and you're some new person, I look you up, you're some rando that lives in Flower Mound. I know what's going on. All right, for my next guest, speaking of Miss Parker, let's address some things that she's dealing with, because she's one of the many working moms out there. And thank you. Jennifer Mulholland, co-owner of Plenty Consulting. What do you think about this new info we have? About 75% of mothers are now working mothers, and new technology is kind of changing their traditional roles. What do you think about that, Jennifer?
Well, it's here to stay, I'm afraid, or I'm happy about. I don't know how I feel about it. We're just juggling a ton of plates. And yes, technology and the speed of information and the change of differing subjects and how we get hijacked all the time with our time and attention is what's present for many of us, trying to be good moms and partners as well as great leaders in the business world.
What's their biggest complaint, Jennifer?
I would say overwhelm, that it's just too much, that, it just feels like as we mother others, we tend to put ourselves last and we don't know how to mother ourselves. So sometimes we get overwhelmed and burn out and exhausted. And so finding that space to give the love and care and attention to yourself, it's sometimes harder than naturally being wired to give that to our children and our families and communities we serve.
Well, what's your advice to, let's look at it from the other point of view, to employers who have working mothers in the workplace? I think of when me and Miss Parker had 4 kids, she had to do something awkward. She had to take her breast pump to work while she was lactating, and she had to pump. She could shut her own office door and lock it, but I thought, how awful would that be for women who don't have their own office? Or, how could you work at a construction site, or how could you have an outside job or some of these manual labor jobs and still juggle that at the same time? It sounds, for many jobs, impossible to do both.
Yeah, I think as a leader and as an employer, you got to get really creative to create the space that your working mothers and staff just need to put their well-being first. And so whether it's nursing, I actually was just talking to somebody the other day that they had scheduled in on their calendar nursing breaks, right, at work. And we were talking about how those breaks are still on the calendar, even though she's way past nursing. So using that kind of as an excuse to step away from your desk and get some privacy and get some space. Space is so underrated, whether you're a mom or a dad or a working person, if you will, that like our space is crowded and we can't be our best selves unless we're giving ourselves time to change the subject, to get outside in nature, to take a deep breath and put ourselves first.
Yeah, and I imagine I see other families going through another thing we went through after we had 4 kids. My wife's career was not her most important priority. The kids were. Yeah. And so we were in a weird position of, how do you find a job that's okay with not being the top priority? And you know what? We found a reason why so many of these other professions are dominated by women, like teaching. Of course, they're going to have to accommodate working mothers or schools would be about empty. So what are some of the other professions people can go to or working mothers can go to where it's okay if work isn't your top priority?
Yeah, I honestly think it really just depends upon the culture and the employer, because you can be in tech or you could be in marketing or you could be in communications and do a lot of that, over Zoom and on the phone. A lot of work these days, not all, but is about relationships. And so making sure that your employers and staff or employees and staff have the space to be able to juggle what's on their plate. And oftentimes employers kind of miss the boat by not asking those questions. And for moms out there, really making sure that you're in alignment with what lights you up. You're in alignment with what you're passionate about and what you're great at. And does the environment support that? And if it doesn't, then that job fit is really not for you. There are amazing professions out there that are less traditional that have come online very differently post-COVID, with so many people being able to be more flexible working from home and, juggling both the personal life and professional life, which to me, those days are long gone when those two parts of ourselves are separate. We live one life and we're the common denominator. So making sure you have an employer or a work environment that supports the whole you to be able to show up.
I was expecting you to use the term gig economy somewhere in there. I thought that's where you were headed. I've got Tim and Sherman on the phone here. He says, what about working dads? What about working dads,
Yeah.
Jennifer? What are they facing?
Oh, gosh. I think, honestly, they're facing the same thing. I think...
I don't have to lactate. I never had to do that.
You don't. And it is different definitely. But I think right now what's happening is that our attention is getting hijacked all the time with interruptions, with the news, with things that are happening with kids and at home. And it's just a very different, more fast-paced kind of integration of work and life. And so I'd say the same thing to dads. Like, space is underrated. Make sure you fill your cup up first. Do something you freaking love to do, because you'll bring that happiness, you'll bring that performance back to your work and back to home if you feel like it's not drudgery, if it feels like you have purpose and meaning and you're meant to be there and that you're contributing in a way that fuels you.
What does Plenty Consulting do? Can they help with this?
Yeah, we help leaders, conscious leaders and conscious businesses grow. And we do that in a whole multitude of ways, but we focus on helping people grow from a revenue standpoint, an impact, making the world better, and most importantly, feeling fulfilled as part of the work that we get to do. So just wrote a book published in March called Leading with Light, and it's about helping conscious leaders when they're ready for more. Well,
if you can sneak me a free copy, I might put it on the list there. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Jennifer Mulholland, Plenty Consulting on The James Show.
Thanks.
Hey, Live Nation has Concert Week. It's a special promotion they're doing. They're just basically giving away tickets for $25. May 8th through May 14th, $25 tickets to over 5,000 summer shows. And, this isn't Skeeter and the Bug Tussles. This is like Hootie and the Blowfish, Santana, Styx, Foreigner. You should go anyway. But many more. Go check it out. You go to livenation.com/concert week. That's where the little secret promotion is. livenation.com/concert week. You can find out what's coming to town this summer. Get them for $25 between this Wednesday and next Tuesday, May 8th to May 14th. Sounds like a heck of a deal. livenation.com/concert week to learn more. All right, coming up next, we're going to get you updated on what happened with Trump. The judge slapped him with another contempt of court this morning, another fine this morning, threatened him with jail time again today. We'll get you caught up on that next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.